Hey, how's it going, guys? So sorry, just sorting a couple things out, but I'm here for Q&A. Any questions that you have, then fire them in the chat and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So live Q&A today, guys. Any questions you've got, web design, business related, anything, pop them in the chat and I will get to them ASAP. Cool. Hey everyone on Instagram. So I'm here live on two places. We've got Instagram and YouTube. So I think the quality on Insta is probably a bit naff. I'm trialing a Restream app and it's not going very well. Just looks a bit naff. Anyway, a couple questions are here already, so thank you. Hope you're all doing well. And so first question from the real Rob Doc, cool name. How did you get your first retainer client? So I'm trying to think, what was my first retainer client? Okay, my first long-term retainer client, they actually came to me by way of a referral. So an old colleague became a freelancer and this business got in touch with them. They weren't willing to do the work, so they just passed my details across and yeah, sign them up as a client. This was a cool client actually. The retainer was for SEO and paid ads, and the account lasted, I think, 2.5 years. So that just shows the power of referrals. But aside from that, there was a couple of other Facebook ad clients back in May, I think 2021. I was starting to look at introducing Facebook ads within the business. So I managed to focus fully on that and went through the likes of Upwork at the time. Found people that were looking for help with Facebook ads, would actually use a VA to send emails to those people. So I'd keep it off platform and try and book a call with them, just using my typical strategy of reaching out, seeing if I can help, and then getting on a conversation with them. So I signed up a couple of ads clients, but I was new to ads. Service delivery wise wasn't all that strong, and they would only really last around 3 months. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. JS Passion. Guys, I'm going to absolutely butcher names on this, so I apologize. But you've asked, how do you shift from front end to UI UX? I'm probably not the best person to answer that question, if I'm honest. I'm not a UI UX designer, but I'd probably say UI UX is all about the experience and like user testing and feedback and things like that. So if you just build a portfolio around that, focus on the kind of specific problems that the front end solves, and yeah, maybe that will be enough. But yeah, by all means, I'm probably not the best person to answer that, so I apologize. So yeah, any more questions, pop them in. Cool, we got one through on YouTube. So hey everyone on YouTube that are watching. So I keep turning my head because I've got phones here, screens here. I've got YouTube on one side and I've got Instagram on the other. It's a bit distracting, but I'll do my best. So any questions that you've got, web design related, guys, please do pop them in the chat. So hello everyone that's watching at the moment. Hope you're all doing well. Cool. So question from Ji Young Lee. Hey man, I hope you're doing well. Hi Tristan, could you tell me how I could start about becoming a SEO worker? I only have basic knowledge on SEO. Cool. Well, at least you've got some knowledge, which is good. And that's kind of enough to get started. if you're looking to service businesses, first of all, I would say that make sure that you know enough to at least get them results. You don't want to sell them something and not really be able to deliver on results unless you're actually completely honest and transparent with them and explain that you're new to this. You could maybe do it at a very reduced cost, or even, you could even take on your first client for free. I never really say work for free, but if you are brand new to the space and you're looking for experience, like real experience, it might not actually hurt to take on your first client for free and get them results. And once you start getting them results, then you can start charging them. I would look at that. Or, if you're looking to outsource it, I would say make sure that you have enough knowledge, that you know enough about the service so you know what you're delivering and you're setting your clients' expectations correctly. So hopefully that answers that. But I mean, if you're looking for help with how you can go about starting your SEO business, there's a pinned link that you can click with more information on how I could potentially help you do that. So hi, Stephen. Hope you're doing well, man. Do you ever have issues with WordPress speed? Yes, all the time. All of the time. So we now kind of have a process where I rely on SiteGround hosting, and it's pretty good. I'd say it's pretty good for the most part. It comes with its own caching plugin. The server speeds are quite good. It has, I'm going to call it server-based caching as well. So yeah, pretty good. But we rely on Elementor as a plugin and a page builder. And historically, that's been quite bulky and causes a lot of bloat. So it slowed the site down. Now Elementor are getting much better at keeping things fast, and we've had less problems with it. So yeah, just make sure that if you are using WordPress, I'm assuming that you're using WordPress here. Yeah, WP speed. Sorry, so it's in the question. So just make sure that your images are compressed. Make sure that you're not spamming the site with plugins unnecessarily. And you should be fine, and get good hosting. So Ji Young Lee again. I mean, getting better knowledge in SEO. Yeah. Click the link. There's a whole course in there. There's loads of videos on YouTube as well around improving SEO. And the only way that you are going to actually improve is just get the experience, real life experience, working with a business, working with a real business website. And over time, when you work with a range of businesses, your experience and stuff will increase too. So anyone else that's new, that's tuned in, welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I'm here on both Instagram and YouTube. So if you've got any questions, I'm here just for Q&A. I don't know how long I'm going to be here at the moment, but pop your questions in the chat and I'll get to them. Q&A. So questions in the chat, and I will answer them as I go. Thank you, everyone, for being here so far. The numbers keep increasing and decreasing on both Insta and YouTube, so it's distracting. People are coming in and leaving, and so on and so on. But we're here for Q&A. All right, next question. I wasn't sure if I could bring the question up on screen. It doesn't look as if I can. So Andre asks, hi Tristan, I've seen the video where you talk about ranking your site for multiple locations. For example, SEO London. Would duplicating the service page and changing the name of the city still work? Yeah, that's great question. So I don't know how old that video is. It's probably at least a year old now. I'm still doing it on my site. I've still got a ton of pages still ranked, but there's a bunch that aren't as well. It seems to, some of them go in at a high position and they drop, and so on and so on. It's kind of, at the moment, there's so many pages on there, it's really difficult for me to track. But the great thing is the traffic has stayed relatively stable. When we created all of these pages for multiple locations, we had a spike in traffic because we found a concept that worked, and we went hard and just replicated it for multiple locations around the UK for each of our services. So we get I would say, a half decent amount of traffic, considering, I'm just a small business here in the UK. So does it still, you asked, does it still work? I think, yes, it does. It does. And back when I was experimenting with this, I started really small, just a couple of towns in my local area, just to get proof of concept. And my fear was, this isn't going to work because I'm basically just copy and pasting the template. The text is exactly the same. I'm just going to be duplicated for duplicate content. And then that wasn't the case. So yeah, I mean, I can't speak for Google, but I know that you can get penalized for duplicated content. I haven't been penalized, and I can only put it down to I've distributed the location keyword around the content enough for maybe Google to consider the content to be slightly different. I don't know. All I know is that it works. The video was there just to show you something that I discovered. I'm by no means like an expert when it comes to location or mass location-based SEO, but I've done it. It works, and I've shared it with you. So hopefully you can look to replicate that. Thanks for the reply, Ji Young Lee. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. John Ferris. Yep. Hey, John. Hope you're doing well, man. Anyone here, please drop a. Sorry, my door's just knocked. Someone's at my door. I'll have to leave it. Anyone got any questions about SEO, web design, business, finding clients, anything? Pop them in, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. All right, what else we got? Host URL. Oh, host URL websites. It's really tricky reading that as one word. Hi, Tristan. I'm currently I'm creating my portfolio as a W designer, web designer. I think that's what you mean. And I have in mind to use this structure: solo agency websites, freelance website, portfolio, and profile in sites like Behance, Artwork, and Dribbble, etc. Any suggestion on that? Let me read that again, because that's not making sense to me. I apologize. Hi, Tristan. I'm creating my portfolio as a web designer, and I have in mind to use this structure: solo agency website, freelance website, portfolio, and proof. Man, I'm really sorry. I'm not really understanding the question. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't answer that because there's not clear. If you want to rewrite it and make that a little bit clearer, I'll see if I can help you there. But I would just be trying to assume what I think you're saying and maybe getting it wrong. Cool. Anyone on Instagram? We're here for Q&A. So questions in the chat, please. Cool. Stephen, how's it going, man? Thanks for being here. How many plugins would you say is too many plugins? Oh, good question. I think on average now when we build sites, we've probably got about six plugins on there. So if I remember this off the top of my head, we've got Jet Engine, which is Crocu Blocks, Elementor Pro, SiteGround, SiteGround Security, SiteGround Caching, and Yoast. So that's 7. So depending on the project, and maybe there's a couple of additional Crocu Blocks plugins that need to be installed, but certainly less than 10 plugins are being installed on a site. I was working with a new business that needed help with maintenance a couple weeks ago, and I shit you not, they had 70 plugins on their site, which was insane. So you can imagine that their site was running really slowly. And we had an exercise where we were just going through and seeing what we could turn off and making sure that the site was still functioning, because there was a lot of plugins in there that just, you see what people do and what customers will do as soon as they can figure out that they can turn plugins on and install plugins. They will install a plugin, have a little play with it, not use it, and then just keep it on. And then over time, it just, it just gets really heavy. So yeah, that was an example of that. So yeah, I'd say Well, I mean, we on average with any basic site have around 7, as I've just worked out, around less than 10 plugins on a site. Cool. John Ferris, YouTube search led to you. Cool. Thanks, John. Appreciate you being here. Getting images correct size, even on WebP, can be an interesting challenge. How do you mean? What's yeah, well, what's the challenge? I use so there's the SiteGround plugin, which is got like a speed optimizer in it, deals with images, and it will convert all of your JPEGs and PNGs to WebP format. So I don't need to worry too much about that. Night Lane. Hey, I'm 18 years old and I want to start a web design agency. I heard that you should become a freelancer if you're a beginner instead of jumping into web design agency owner. What would you say? Well, I think ultimately the end goal, figure out what the end goal is. A freelancer is going to be you servicing the work. Do you want to be doing the work yourself? Okay, that's just the difference between a freelancer and a business owner. No, I kind of still sit in the middle. But a business owner he's running the business. Okay, he's not doing the work. Okay, you don't see Elon Musk like building the Tesla cars, do you? Like, it's just the CEO. He's got a team of people that are doing that. If you want to build a business, then I would say remove yourself as soon as you possibly can. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the freelancer stage and it might be a little bit more difficult for you to get out. So understand what you want to do. If you want to be servicing your customers yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a freelancer. You still can get paid very well. There's just a cap on your time. Whereas as a business owner, there's not really much limitation on how much work you can bring in. You'll be limited by your team's resource and how many people that you can find to work with. And that could be whether you employ someone or whether you look to work with contractors and other freelancers to fulfill the work for you. And you just add some additional revenue on the price that they charge you so you can then charge the client extra. So yeah, there's 2 ways there that you can start a business. Hopefully that's answered your question, and thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Cool. Any questions on Instagram? Just drop them into the chat, please. I'm here for Q&A. Appreciate you all being here. Yeah. Thank you. So next question, RTube. How's it going, Tristan? Good, thanks, mate. How are you? I'm going to be launching my agency in a few weeks. Any tips on finding my first clients? Yeah, first clients wise, reach out to your local network, whether it is friends, family, any previous business connections that you've made. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them that you're now offering web design services, and you'd be happy to have a conversation with anyone that wants to explore what it is that you're offering. Maybe for your first one, you could do a reduced rate just to kind of get it through the door and add it to your portfolio. But that would be my biggest tip. You know, obviously, when you start a business, you're starting with nothing. So there will be an element of you having to do what I call outbound outreach, cold outreach. So, you know, picking up the phone, maybe calling local businesses, seeing if they need your help, sending emails, direct messaging, etc., etc. People hate doing it, but if you wanna be successful, you know, you have to do that. Cool. Hopefully that answers your question. But like, you know, if you want more in-depth understanding, there's a pinned link at the top. Go and click it, and you know, I can share with you all of my experience because, you know, like you, I mean, I had web design experience when I started, but I didn't have any experience with finding customers. That was like my biggest drawback. Was I naively thought that because I knew how to build websites that people would just want to work with me, and that wasn't the case. So yeah, there's a pinned link if you want to go and check that out. Cool. Next question, John. So your top 10 plugins and why? Preferred side. What's that? Builder? Is that supposed to be site builder? Top 10 plugins. do you know, I'd have to probably sit here and write a list. I'm not very good at kind of thinking of things on the spot if you want a genuine, correct answer. But as I just said to who was it? Stephen, asking the question around how many plugins. So I have, on every single project that I have 7 plugins, and they were, just to recap, Elementor, Elementor Pro. I've got a call, just ignore that. Elementor Pro, so that's 3. Elementor, no, let me start again. Elementor Pro, CrocoBlox, so Jet Engine, SiteGround Speed, SiteGround Security, and Yoast for SEO. So that's the 7 of the main plugins that I launched with every site at the very least. Regardless, I'll use it for them. But if it's, you know, another site that needs WooCommerce, then we'll include that. I don't need any other plugins to do things. Elementor does a lot of cool things these days. CrocoBlox takes care of a lot of the things that like advanced custom fields used to take care of, and there used to be a lot of, you know, multiple plugin dependencies in order to achieve a couple of things. But now I can do a lot of these with both CrocoBlox and Elementor Pro alone. So 7. Preferred site builder is Elementor. John, if you got that. So host URL websites again. Yeah, for sure, man. I'm saying that the idea for reach customers and sell the services, I will have a website as an agency, another website as a freelancer, and additionally, I will try 1 out of 2, or was that half? Bro, that just sounds like a lot of work to me. It's totally up to you. By all means, from a management standpoint, I wouldn't want to do it. I don't know what the benefit is, really. Yeah, that's all I really have to say on that. I don't know what the benefit is for you to do both. Either be one or the other. Businesses, from my understanding, don't really care whether you are a freelancer or an agency. As long as the work gets done, focus on what it is that you do and how you can help. Less on whether you're an agency. Like, you don't want to be talking much about you anyway on your sites. You want to be talking about the people that you serve, how you help them, what problems you help them overcome, and then you can talk a little bit about yourself. So that's kind of where my head's at in terms of, like, it doesn't really matter. Imran, hello Tristan, how do you showcase the value of having a website to a client? Does it help you charge more? Hey man, hope you're doing well. Yes. So does it help you charge more? Absolutely. Okay. The more valuable that you can be to a business, the more that you can charge. Okay. With all of my projects, and I teach this to all of my students that need my help, you need to figure out what problems you are solving as a web designer. Okay. Those problems need to be as painful as possible to the business that you're speaking to. Now, typically, a business is looking for help because, you know, they might be struggling to get work themselves, and they think that fixing their website is going to help them do that. That's if they're aware of, you know, the problem first and foremost, and they are actively looking to fix it. So, you know, if people come into us about a website, it's often to fix a problem. If we're reaching out to a business, it's because we are going to them and saying, do you have this problem? We're able to help you fix it. Okay, in simple terms. So the more valuable that you can be, the better. The way that you showcase this, the way that I do it, I use a 2-step core framework where stage 1 is discovery. You know, I ask them a bunch of questions and try to figure out what challenges they are facing. And then I'm fault finding, as I like to put it. So the second step is then me taking those challenges and showing them in a demonstration, so a presentation, how we can overcome those problems. Okay, it might be that we are looking at people within the local area or competitors, should I say, and using what I call like the law of comparison and saying, well, here's your competitors, look how good they look. Do you think that a customer would choose you or choose them? And you can do this with a variety of different things. You can pick out faults on their website and compare it against their competitor's website. You can pick faults on their search presence, all sorts. Okay, law of comparison is really, really good because business owners, they want to look the best, especially against their competitors. So what we do then, depending on what the problems are, we'll just position ourselves and the services like web design to overcoming those challenges. So like, if their competitor's website was better, we just say like, do you think that having a new website with X, Y, and Z would put you in a better position against your competitor? Or if they're not ranking high in the search terms, you just say, like, do you think that spending a few months optimizing your site would increase your ranking and beat your competitors? If that did happen, do you think that you'd generate more traffic? Yes. Great. If you had more traffic, do you think you'd get more inquiries? Yes. Okay. It's about how you're positioning yourself and how you're making sure that your services are the solution to the problem. It's all about how you're framing it. Hopefully that answers the question. John, product image, hero, product image. So I'm assuming that your question a second ago about getting the correct size, product image. Yeah, I probably don't have the best answer for that. The hero image, I agree. It has to be, excuse me, I've got an itchy nose. The hero image has to be a large image. And so you have to work to compress it. Use something like Tiny JPEG or Tiny PNG to compress it. As I've referenced a couple of times, I use SiteGround Optimizer as our plugin because we host on SiteGround. That will compress all of our images for us. There are other plugins available on WordPress that will deal with your image compression if you need to. Ewan, how's it going, man? You've been here a couple of times, which is awesome. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Best place to find people to do the fulfillment. Yeah. So from my experience, the best places that I've found is Upwork, but just being really specific with your search. Okay. I've hired people in Australia, I've hired in Canada, I've hired in India, and I've hired here in the UK, and I've hired in America. Now, people in India, they are much cheaper, but there's been scenarios where there's been a slight language barrier, which means understanding the brief hasn't quite been fulfilled. That's just sometimes. There are plenty of people based in India that have done a very, very stellar job. But I prefer working with people here. My one contract is in Canada, 2 of them are here in the UK, and 1 is actually still in India. So Upwork has been great for me. Have a look, join local communities as well. That's always really good. See who's active in there. I've joined communities and I've posted specific questions in there in the past, requesting help for, whether it's like I needed help with Shopify once upon a time. So I posted in a e-commerce group and found a Shopify developer to help me inside there. So plenty of options for you there. I wouldn't necessarily go to the likes of Fiverr. Just talking from personal experience, I don't think the quality is all that good on there and it seems massively saturated. I'm sure there's people on here maybe watching that have had great experiences with Fiverr. That's just my own experience. So Ewan, hopefully that answers your question. Cool. Anyone here on IG and on YouTube? It's Q&A. So I'm just going to be here answering your questions. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Pop your questions in the chat and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So I am Bugsy on IG. How do you approach clients that are new, meaning they do not have a website, a new company from the ground up? Great question. So I remember there being a way, and I'm really sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think there was a way to find businesses that are new startups. I think it was like a crowdfunding platform that allowed me to do that. But I'm not sure if that answers your question, but if they are established and they do have a business but don't have a website, Google Maps is going to be your best friend, because from a UI perspective, it's really easy to search for a business in your local area, and you can scroll through the maps and you can see which of the businesses don't have the little icon for clicking on the website. So those are the ones that typically don't have a website, and you could reach out to them by phone. But yeah, apologies, I can't. I can go away and have a look at this for sure, but I can't remember off the top of my head how you would go about finding businesses that are new startups that don't have a website. So Q&A, guys, just pop it in the chat. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and it's good to see you all. I hope you're all doing well. Right, any more questions? Host URL websites. Some advice of a thing that there is no much content on the. So much content, is that supposed to be? There is so much content on the internet. How we can deal the meetings with the customers for us that we are beginners. Video call. Right, let me read that again. Some advice on the things that there's. Oh, there's not much. There's not much content on the internet. I think that's supposed to say how we can deal with meetings with the customers. Yeah, so I think there is content on the internet, and I actually have videos on my channel around what questions you should be asking in your meetings. But video call is going to be your best friend. And the reason for that is it's so much easier to build rapport with someone when you can see them. So I'd say get on video. Sometimes your clients won't want to go on video, and that's fine. It's up to you whether you then continue on video or you don't, but go on video. Yeah, have a look on my YouTube. You'll have to go back a little bit because the video is fairly old, but for me, the questions have pretty much remained very similar in what I do within my meetings and what questions I ask to try and fault find. But I mentioned it earlier, I have a two-step sales call process where the first call is discovery, where we're just asking questions. And then the second call is once we've figured out what their challenges are and their pain points, we then flip it and show them how, a new website, for example, can help solve their problems and just get them bought in that way. Thanks for the answer. So this is RTube. Thanks for the answer. You're welcome. Have you got any tips on how to improve your communication skills? Once I've figured that out, I will let you know. Just be you. Be polite. Speak to people as you would like to be spoken to. There's this whole term of professionalism, and I think people get confused with what that really means. From my understanding is you don't have to put on this facade where you're this really corporate type person. Just be you, and people work with people they like. Okay, so be you, and you'll find and work with people that are like you and you can easily communicate with. If you are pretending to be someone that you're not and you're attracting the wrong type of client, eventually you're just going to hate it. So just be yourself and communicate well. If it's anything to do with how do you communicate, what it is that you're delivering. So if I was trying to communicate the functionality of a website or something, don't use acronyms. Always speak to the customer, and I mean this in the nicest way. Speak to the customer as if you were trying to explain something to anybody that didn't know what you're on about. So whether that is explaining it to a child maybe, or explaining it to your partner. If they don't have a clue about your industry, how can you completely simplify things enough that they are going to clearly understand what it is that you are saying? I would say that's a good tip for you. Cool. Johnny, hi man, how's it going on Instagram? Thanks for being here, appreciate it. So is there a good place to buy Elementor Pro themes? I noticed to spend too many time on too many time on websites. Yeah, so I've actually recently been buying template kits, Elementor template kits on Envato Elements, and I'll pop that. Let me just pop the link in the chat so anyone that wants to know what that is. So Envato Elements is there. Now let me see if I can go one better and see if I can. God, I've got a really itchy nose. See if I can find template kit. So it's under web templates. Web templates, site templates, maybe. Let me just search Elementor. So it's not completely clear. So I'm going to see if I can get you guys a link. Bear with template kit. WordPress. More template kits. All right, I'm going to pop this in the chat. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that works. So yeah, there's themes on there. Oh God, my nose is so itchy. There's themes on there. Go and have a look. And yeah, I've been using them, so I recommend them. All right, who else we got? Thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it as well. If you've got any questions, pop them in the chat. I'm here. What's the time? Probably another 20 minutes. I'll head off at 3. And yeah, if you just quickly, if you want any more information about how I can help you guys on more of a closer one-to-one basis, there's a link above to my new membership if you want to go and check that out. Anyone struggling with their web design journey, you're going to everything that I've learned over the last 4 years when I got started, I've wrapped up in there. It's really cool, and the community is pretty awesome as well. Cool. Let's go back to questions. Where did I get to? Thanks for the answer. All right, we got communication. So John, yeah, site builder. Cool. Yep. Elementor for me. Love it. I know other people have other preferences, but yeah, I love it. I love it. Cool. Night Lane. How's it going, man? So if I only focus on on-page SEO for a website, can I still sell it successfully? Will it rank well in search results, or is there a risk of it not performing as expected and disappointing my client? Yeah, so SEO these days, link building does make up a lot. It like almost like 80-20 rule. 20% on page, 80% off page, which is the link building side of things. So if you can build links to the website, high quality links back to the site, it's going to rank a lot quicker, a lot faster. Now, if, for example, the client that you're working with is not in a very competitive space, then on page alone could potentially have it rank pretty well. But this is why we have to audit sites to see what their current domain ranking is, or domain authority, see what the competition is like. Because if you just fix the on-page stuff and the competition's super high, then you may end up disappointing your client. So, you can go so far. You can go so far with just on-page without the backlinking, but eventually the on-page stuff is going to plateau, and that's when you need to focus on the link building. So, we've had scenarios, depending on the client's budget, where we will, for like 4 months or 6 months, just work on on-page stuff and building content, so we can build like content authority through blog articles, and we fix all of that on-page stuff, and we make sure it's ranking fast and there's enough keywords scattered throughout the site. that will get us so far. And then after 6 months, we then focus more on the link building. So like the budget, the in like revenue budget that's coming into us that we're charging our customer, like the retainer, that will, it kind of offsets later down the line. So we're doing less work on the on-page stuff, but actually we are focusing then on the off-page stuff. Hopefully I'm not sure if I explained that very well, but apologies. But yeah, you can get so far with on-page only. But if it all comes down to how you're setting the expectations for your customer. Imran, PayPal is not supported in my place. Is it okay to ask bank transfer or card payments? Yeah. Where are you based? Just curious. I know Wise. I've sent money abroad using Wise. Wise is pretty good. Have you tried Stripe? Is that going to work for you? I'm not sure. Cool. Johnny, does Elementor Pro also offer templates themselves? Yes, they do, but they're quite. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen them so many times that I kind of like. I'm turned off by them, and I tend not to use them. Then, yeah, they do. They do have them. Go and check them out. I'd say they're nice, but they're limited. I think there's only like 10, maybe. I haven't actually counted them, so I'm not sure for sure. Cool. Any questions, guys? We're here for Q&A. Just pop it in the chat, and I'll answer any of your questions. Right, back onto YouTube. Thanks everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. And thanks for being patient and watching. It's really nice having you here and asking these questions. So next one, Ocelot. Would I be able to sell a website or service to a client without showing my face? Yes, you can. Okay, it's easier if you show your face to build rapport because it's like having a conversation with somebody. But you can do the same thing. Like you can sell without showing your face, and I have done it. Certainly on like the early days, I remember not showing my face, and the reason why I didn't show my face is because I had my script right in front of me. I had it on my screen, and I didn't want the client to know that I was reading from a script, so I didn't have my camera on. I've just got much better now at knowing my script. The confidence is built. I have my camera on, and I still have my script up, but I use it there more of as a guidance, just to make sure that I'm asking the right questions, collecting the right information, and it's just keeping me on track, because you never know how the conversation is going to go when you're speaking to multiple different people throughout your career. Cool. God, there's another name I can try and butcher. Bonisi. I'm really sorry. Hopefully you know who I'm on about. Hello. Thanks for being here. Apologies for butchering your name. I just saw that Bianca has joined IG. So Bianca's a friend. She takes care of all of my ads. She is awesome. So thanks for being here, B. So you're new here. What can you use for SEO? Right. You're new here. What can you use for SEO? I feel like that's such a vague question and difficult to answer. I'd say I have a video. How about this? I'll pop it in the comments after this. There's a whole video on how to start your SEO business and how to get results from like start to finish. Watch it, and you'll get a lot of information on that. I could be here a little while trying to answer that question, because obviously it's such a like open-ended question. Cool. Everyone here on YouTube and Insta, appreciate you being here. It's live Q&A, so please drop a question in the chat. Cool. Good to see you too, Bianca. Thanks for being here. Ben Haig, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. So have you found the general macroeconomy over the last year has negatively impacted your business? I found over the last year, a lot more businesses are opting for cheaper options line Upwork. Ben, yeah, like if I'm being like brutally honest, like the last year, I think if you're in the UK, things have got a lot tighter for sure. You know, where people are bartering more, they're trying to haggle the price down, they're taking longer to think about things. It's become, a bit more challenging for sure, but it won't last forever. I haven't really specifically noticed people like going to the likes of Upwork instead of using someone like ourselves. I haven't personally experienced that, so I can't speak for that. But certainly it's overall felt a little bit more challenging, over the past 12 months than it has over the last like 1 to 2 years before that. But that's just the way the world works, I suppose. Everyone's in the same position, and yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. We can just keep going and keep trying to win that business. So in M Bonissi again, sorry for butchering your name. What can I use for SEO on a WordPress page? I am design. Use Yoast. Yoast plugin is going to do a lot of the basics for you. Make sure that you've got that installed at the very least. Charlie Chung, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Hi, any advice on what template web design builder that I can build and sell to clients? Beginner to advanced level from your opinion. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have any advice on that. I haven't built templates to sell. That being said, I've got one at the moment, which or one that's built, free in the works, and we're just using it as a like real low ticket offer. Like if they want a website but don't want the custom approach, and also they don't really want an off the shelf template, we have like a semi custom template, which is what I call it. It's kind of loosely based off things that we've built internally in the past. So it is kind of custom, and we know how it works, and it's easy for us to customize for the client. And we sell it to the client. We don't sell it as a product. So we haven't wrapped it up as a template that anybody can just come and purchase. We are using a template to build a very basic site for our customers. So that's the only kind of opinion that I would have on that. I hope that helps, maybe. Imran, you're from Bangladesh. I'm really sorry, man. I actually don't know. I don't know what payment platforms you can use. I just do some research. You've got Wise, which is an option, and potentially Stripe. Maybe join some forums. Forums, fuck, that's an old word, isn't it? Join some communities on Facebook or School. See if there's anyone in the same position as you and see what they're doing. There'll be people that have overcome this for sure, but I'm probably not the best person to help you overcome that right now. Cool. M Bonesi. Cool, I got your name right. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Cool. Anyone here? Any questions? What's the time? A few more minutes, probably 8 minutes. Any questions that you've got, pop them in the chat. Thank you for being here as well. I really appreciate it. So Jared, how's it going, man? I hope you're doing well. Hi, Tristan. How much would you typically charge on the low end for SEO services? So for us, the low end of SEO, it's not live yet, but the lowest end SEO package that we're just putting together is going to be $299, and that's just going to focus on GMB or Google Business Profile. They've changed it. They keep changing it. So Google Business Profile. So getting them to rank in the maps, in the map pack, and we're going to be optimizing their profile, building out citations on a month-to-month basis to help them increase the ranking there. And that's going to be the lowest offer at $299. For organic SEO with a little bit of Google Business Optimization, it's currently priced at $749. We do have room to negotiate if we need to and drop it slightly, but we try to avoid doing that. And then the highest or higher tier package with a couple of link building options in there as well, is 1249, and that is all in pounds. I'm not sure what that equates to in dollars. I think dollars wise is like 1.2, 1.3 to each pound. So I'll let you convert that. Ocelot, yeah, I've tried using script before, didn't end well. Why? What happened? Scripts are hard. Like, you have to learn your script. Okay, you can't just go into it without knowing what you're like, without having any idea what you're saying and expecting to, just read it off the screen, because you'll trip over words. Oh, I've got a hair there. You'll trip over words. You'll sound robotic. You won't be natural. And so, just honestly, print it off or write it out, and practice. If you want some genuine tips and help on your scripts and what to say in sales calls and how to get better, like, there's a pinned link, Agency Alchemist, go and check it out. Any more questions, guys, before we end? Pop it in a chat. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. What have we got next? Can I make a living on building WordPress websites only in the UK? Manchester. Wait, you based in Manchester? I thought you just said you were based in... Oh, it's Imran in Bangladesh. My bad. Can I make a living on building WordPress websites only in the UK? Yes, 100%. Yes, you can. Of course you can. Yeah, so next one, Ocelot. Do you use templates for your clients? Sometimes. If their budget's really low, like, one thing you need to remember, and I maybe made this mistake first of all, when I got into business, I thought, I just want to be selling websites for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10,000 pounds. Okay. But actually what it comes down to is, what does your customer need? What problems are they having? And what solution can you offer them? Okay. Be a problem solver. If they are a small business and they just need an online presence, they maybe don't have a large budget. They really don't need a real custom designed, custom built website. It's just not necessary. So think about what it is your customer needs. So yes, for some of our customers, we do use templates. I shared a link earlier on and further up from Envato Elements, where you can find template kits for Elementor. We use Elementor to build. And so we've used those as a way of fast tracking the whole design process. And we just implement the content from our customer, put it into the template, change the images, the logo, change the text, change the color, fonts if necessary. Once you've done that, it almost looks like a custom site anyway. It's just taken us a fraction of the time. You can't even go as far to say, look, this is the template. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to input your text and change your images and add your logo. Colors are the colors. That's the way it is. It's totally up to you about how much you want to customize it and how far you want to go to make it feel bespoke for your customer. But I'd always say, go above and beyond, do your best work, and your client's going to be happy. You're going to get referrals. So how much do I charge? So Ocelot, I'll jump straight to your question because I'm on that topic anyway. So how much do I charge for templates? You'll see on our website, so my agency website, templates start from 749. That is for 5 templated pages. So real cheap, really. We can get it done in a day if we need to, as long as the customer, gives us all the content. We've got copywriting guides that we send to them just to help them write the copy. We base it on the StoryBrand framework. So we just talk them through how they can, go through that, how they can best write their copy. Once they've sent their copy through, we can then start the build. We wouldn't start the build without their copy because it just slows the process. That's our point of view. But if you haven't got a lot of work in your pipeline, you could start the build, put Lorem Ipsum in as a text, and then wait for their text. But yeah, 750 is our base rate, and then X amount on top. I think it's £100 per page on top. So if they want like 10 pages, it would be an extra £500 because it's an additional 5 pages. But yeah, check out the website, check out the services and the pricing. I'm pretty clear about pricing on there. So Benassi again. Oh, sugar. I've already asked that question. Oh, you've got another one. So that is cool. Thanks for sharing. I'm also learning Elemental. You're welcome, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. I've just seen not my dad has just joined the live. Hey dad, how's it going? Right. Inner Insights. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. What's your main source of inspiration when it comes to building a design? So my main source of inspiration is I go to awards. So if you don't know what this site is, I'll pop it in the chat. So this site here has a lot of really cool websites on there. Now I don't not often look at these from a build perspective, but more from a like a visual layout composition perspective. And there's some really cool sites on there. Again, go to, most of you must have heard of this one. Dribbble is another one if you want website inspiration. Let me just write this in the chat as well. Cool. So yeah, that's where I go for inspiration. Rolando, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. Question. Hello, greetings from Mexico. Hey from the UK. How's it in Mexico? Maybe you already answered it, but what is the best structure to create an about page? Yeah, do you know what? That's a great question. I haven't actually gone as far to spend a lot of time on structuring an about page, but what I did do on our website recently, and you're welcome to go and have a look. You go and click on any of my videos and you'll see it in there. You'll see the link to my agency website, but I've included what it is that about us that makes us different to like the likes of our competitors. What are our values? What's your story? What's your story as a business, and what's your story as like the owner? So yeah, that's kind of the best thing that I would say. You should never talk too much about yourself on your website because it's all about your customer and how you help. So with your about page, you kind of need to do the same thing, really. Talk about yourself, but in a way that positively impacts your customer. Hopefully that helps. So B-Hawk, how's it going? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. When you do use a template, do you let them know it's a template? Yes. Yeah, we do. There's no point lying about it. You know, if they have a smaller budget, we just say, look, we can make this cheaper for you. What we'll do is we'll take an existing template and customize the template for you. Okay, just word it like that. They don't really need to know how much work goes into it. They just care about the end product. So yeah, always tell them that it's a template. Otherwise, you know, if you don't, and they think that they're getting like a custom site and you've given them a template and they find out, you're going to look pretty stupid and they're not going to be happy, and it's just not worth having a bad reputation. Okay. So Ocelot, you're welcome. Absolutely not a problem. Cool. We've been here for nearly an hour. Any one like quick questions, fire them in and we'll get done. Rolando, thank you for your answer. Great, you're welcome. Ocelot, you're welcome. Insights, you're welcome. Guys, while you're here, I'm going live on Thursday, and I've already put a message out on YouTube, and I've put a message out on the Facebook community. But I'm opening up the opportunity for you to share your URLs with me so I can take a look at them and I can give you constructive feedback. So if that sounds good, if you want feedback on your websites or even a client website that you've built and you want a bit of feedback on, drop a link in here, or drop a link after this live's finished. Just drop a link somewhere, direct message me, anything. I'm building a list of URLs so I can help you guys, help you improve your websites. I'll look at it from a user experience standpoint, web design conventions, visual layout, hierarchy, what are the call to actions? Does it answer the message? Do I know what the website is supposed to do, what the service is that's on offer? All of those things. Why does it do this? It looks like Instagram has crashed again. I'm just going to end live. This is why I like YouTube. This is why I like YouTube. Bear with, I'm just going to end stream on Instagram. Cool, so I'm just left with YouTube. Yeah, any URLs that you want me to take a look at to provide feedback, please do let me know, and I'll do that on Thursday. At the moment, I've got like 4, so it's not going to be very long. So please share some URLs. I'd really appreciate it. Cool. One more question, Ocelot. Does the template have to be yours? What do you mean? Wow, my tea's gone cold. Do you mean like, do you have to have built it yourself, or can you buy it? It doesn't have to be yours if that's the case. You can buy a template. If you buy a template on Envato, and I've put a link in here. I don't know if you saw it. A link further up, and go and check it out. It doesn't have to be yours, no. You can buy one and you can customize it and resell it. Okay, you're reselling it to a customer. If you resell it as a template, there's probably copyright infringement problems there. Cool, right. Hopefully that answers your question. Right, anyone else that wants help, if you want to learn more about how I can help you on more of a personal level, okay, there is a link pinned for the Agency Alchemist. It's my monthly, very affordable mentorship program. Go and check it out. There's on everything that I've learned in the last 4 years of running my agency. You'll have access to, and you'll have access to me. I can help you a hell of a lot more there than I can help you here. So please do go and check that out. Yeah, remember what I said. This Thursday I'm going live again, and the intention is to spend a bit of time just providing feedback to those that share their websites and share their URLs. So pop them in the chat, comment after this live's finished, send me a message, whatever it is, and I'll put another post out on YouTube, which will hopefully prompt you to comment on it and give your URLs. But thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. This is fun. I'm really enjoying doing this. So it's really nice to connect with you all as well. I know that I'm only ever really putting out videos and not actually directly answering questions. So it's really nice to do this. Remember the pinned link at the top if you want to learn more about how I can help you on a more personal level. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, morning, afternoon, wherever you're based. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.